Hey guys, I'm going to be leading this one a little bit more. Amanda, I'll let her speak for herself too, but Amanda wasn't as big of a fan, shockingly, of this one. Um, Considering it's one of the more popular ones, which is fine. She's not a Batman fan. I'll let her explain it in a minute. But anyway, so I'm going to do a brief plot summary since. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so you start off with Jim Gordon and Harvey Dent. Talking.
Harvey Bullock.
No, that. Are you sure?
Yeah, Harvey Bullock, because he's
I
got
called him
the.
Dent.
No, he's got his signature look.
Why would they name two people Harvey?
They look very different.
What? Why? Well, I guess they did have Two-Face in the beginning. Anyway, yeah. So, crap. Barbara's dad and this cop dude, were talking at the Bat Symbol, and cop dude telling Barbara's dad, he's like, "It's gonna die. He's gonna die soon." And you think he's talking about Batman, and you realize he's been burning the Bat Symbol for 8 days straight. And he's like, "I gotta leave it on, people. It gives people hope. Like, the people who knew who Batman really was, the people who are looking for him, who miss him." He's like, everybody in Gotham, it's for them. It's not just for Batman. And then you see Batman in the maze. He looks like...
Oh, sorry. Before that, people, when he's referring to that, you see, these brief flashes of all the different characters. You see Damien beating the crap out of, just roughing up a guy trying to figure out where his
dad is.
Yeah, and Nightwing's kind of standing back chilling.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see this shot of Barbara and an amazing bat. I really just loved that particular Batgirl costume.
See a very worried Alfred.
And a very worried Selena too, as she's looking at the bat signal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah. And then you come into Bruce in the Maze, and I originally missed this part when I was reading. I don't know if the pages stuck together or what. And he's all alone, and he's dying of thirst, and he comes to this fountain. He's like, "Oh, it's probably poison, but I'm going to drink it anyway." And he drinks a bunch of water from this fountain. And then he keeps going deeper in, and he sees all these pictures of people who were either members of the court or the court's victims.
Yeah.
Or who they turned into Talons. And then the gimmick that Alex says is a great gimmick, and I think is god-awful, and makes
Let's
me
get
want
into
to...
Let's get into that right here. We'll go ahead and get into this now. I don't want to spend the whole time. For the record, like she said, I really like the gimmick. I think it's just a cool artistic thing that kind of forces you to look at it basically Batman's losing it, and it kind of makes the reader be like, oh, it's the reader's losing it too. That's the whole reason they did it. I think it's kind of a cute gimmick, and also you see the art style kind of change to be more exaggerated. The cape is super long and everything.
It made me want a lobotomy.
That's a little extreme.
Yeah, no, I am very much... So, first of all, I like things that are not difficult. I don't like meat on the bone. I think that's too hard to eat. I don't like wings.
Are you speaking metaphorically?
No, I'm being very, I'm talking literally. I do not enjoy things that are difficult. I don't like eating steak that's on the bone because I have to cut around the bone. That's too difficult. I don't like eating, chicken wings because they have bones. I'd rather have boneless wings. I don't enjoy stuff that is difficult. My favorite food is soup, for God's sake, because you don't even have to chew it. I don't like when I have to put any effort into things, and reading should be effortless. Reading should be...
It just took you out of the book, is what you're trying to say. I have
used reading as escapism my entire life, and anything that takes away from you being able to completely dissociate from who you are as a person when you're reading, is a bad gimmick. So it gave me a very visceral reaction. I'm still kind of pissed.
People don't need to disassociate though, do they? Just how you said
I'm
that.
Mentally ill.
Escapism is one thing. Some people will do that, or you read stuff to experience other worlds, basically.
Do you know because I feel like most people get so engrossed when they're reading that they kind of forget that life exists outside of the book.
That's usually if it's really good, but
literature.
For me, it's different, but yeah, like it's fine. It's just the gimmick wasn't for you. I really liked it, but like it is what it is.
I think that anybody who I'm gonna spend probably a few minutes just talking about how much I hated it. Like, it made me mad. Like, can I go ahead and tell them? We've already tried to record this episode once, and I just got so angry about it that we're having to, like, redo this. Yeah, so I did not enjoy this issue because of it. When I try to think about the issue, the glaring thing is the gimmick, and the gimmick made me mad.
Wait, did you finish describing what else happened in the...
No, you stopped when you started talking about the gimmick. When I mentioned it, like, I was going to mention it in passing. I was going to finish it.
Well, no, I was... this was me giving you your chance to, like, basically, like, not... Because the thing, I guess since we're referring to the previous recording, we got too hung up on that. We spent the whole rest of the episode talking about it till, like, basically, like, we're both kind of just frustrated. But, so we're trying not to do that. So, like, are you feel like you're... Because I don't have anything else to say about it.
I was going to go into my spiel about why I don't like it.
Okay.
Because apparently that's what a lot of people like about this issue. And I feel like if you are like me and you think that things are supposed to be a certain way, and if they're not a certain way, then you get really hung up on it. And you get really frustrated. And it makes you want to just, like, freak out. It's not going to be something you're going to enjoy reading. It's just not. If you're the kind of person who, when your parent decides to change up something that they've bought your entire life to something else, and you have a meltdown, even though you're like 20, it is not for you. I think in the last one you're like, oh, it's a tism thing, and I'm like, maybe.
I think it is. Usually, and I'm not trying, because I think last time I didn't think it was going to be this serious of an episode, but I think last time, which is fine, sometimes it's just going to be like this, but I think that last time I was getting too hung up over, like, my expectation versus how you reacted. Like, I didn't expect you to be, like, over the moon, like, I love this, and honestly, I've been really pleased that you have enjoyed this so much this far, so I think it really kind of just disappointed me that, like, you weren't as, like, wasn't that cool, and then, like, we just keep moving. But yeah, like, it's fine. I'm sorry that it like, I know I didn't write it, but I'm sorry that, like, this upset you this much. I think it's cool, but it's okay. Like, that not everything's for everybody. There's certain things that a lot of people like, and I'm just like sports, I'm like, it's just not really my thing. Everybody has their thing, and, there's some things that would get under my skin that, like, in the past we've talked about this, that you would look at and be like, what's the big deal? Like, everybody has, like, their thing, I guess, that kind of bothers them. So, like, that's cool. But, were you done, or you want to keep moving? Because we still have to get through this story, and we are at, like, 8 minutes right now.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, no, I think that if you have certain expectations for things, like how a comic should read, then you're not going to like it. And I think that what they were trying to do was force the perspective of insanity. It could have been done in a different way that I think would have made the readability better, because you can't force that perspective if you are then going to put it into a format that forces the person to then come out of the world that they're reading, because they're having to constantly move or flip or turn the media that they're reading. Yeah, and so I think that it was a good idea in theory, but poor execution. Okay, anyway, so you...
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to be, like, I was trying not to interrupt you again, but, like, let's just keep moving.
Yeah, okay, anyway, so, yeah, then you see him going through the maze, losing his mind, thinking he's turning into an owl. He keeps saying not to listen, he's not listening, he's not listening. He sees his parents who are blind, and then they turn into owls.
Creepy, right? Like...
No.
You didn't find that creepy?
No, I was too frustrated.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like
It's okay. Let's just keep moving. I don't want to talk about it again.
No,
Let's
I'm
just
sorry. No.
keep. We're never gonna get through this episode. We got to keep it moving. Come on, we're at like 10 minutes. It's usually the halfway point. Let's get through it, Amanda.
We're
Come
already
on.
past the halfway point. There's literally
Keep
4
going.
pages left.
Do the summary. Do the summary.
After his parents, he keeps going crazy. He sees his hand as like a talon, like claw, like of a bird, not bird, owl specifically, and then he gets stabbed by the talon, and then you see the last page, which I think is the best scene in the entire thing.
I would agree. I think it's a cool scene.
The light goes out, the bat signal goes out, and Damien comes in, he's like, turn it back on right now. And then a panel later, he's like, turn it back on, please. And he looks so sad and so broken.
He looks like he's about to cry.
Baby boy just needs a hug, and his dad is missing, and he is so sad.
Well,
and it hurts my heart.
Yeah, and here's the thing too: is like at that time, Damien, and I mean to an extent now, Damien is a very like controversial Robin. A lot of people don't like him. And so I feel like it's just because of how Grant Morrison used to write him as like this little snot. But like with this, like with Snyder's stuff, I remember reading it and being like, oh, I like him now because he's like, he's not just like, oh, I'm so much better than all this. Like, I hate you, Grayson, and stuff like that. Like, I get they're doing a character arc thing with that, but also, it's a new Robin. You know how fan bases are with, like, new things. They don't usually like them.
Jason Todd.
Yeah, and so it's like that, where it's... He always wrote him really well. Also, me and you will probably get in the future, too. I think it's either Tomasi or Gleason. These are writers. Did a really good Batman and Robin run with Damian, where like it really made them both really likable, and it's like really great. It's about like him and Batman, and yeah, like I don't know. I was gonna go back real quick. For the record, like earlier when I was like, we gotta get through it, I was laughing. I wasn't like upset or anything with sports. It's like, yo, I feel like I'm in a maze right now with the Court of Owls, and I keep like going to that one room that they have in this issue where I'm just like, we gotta get out of this room. I gotta keep moving. I feel like we were harping on that a lot, but yeah. Anyway, I would agree. Like, not this progressed it in as much like you're kind of worried about Batman, and what's going on, like because you've never seen it like this. And so I think it accomplished that, and just seeing like, you know, the Bat family be worried kind of thing. Like that was the point of this issue, I feel like.
For me, it felt incomplete and too short. It feels like a toss away issue. Like it felt like filler. So before this we were watching One Piece, and we're watching the episodes right after Nami officially joins the crew. And it's a bunch of like clip shows basically.
That's not fair, because that's 2 episodes versus 1 issue where you're claiming filler. And this one, I wouldn't say it's filler. It is progressing the story. It's progressing it like in a way maybe you don't appreciate, but it still is. No, it's not. Like
partnered up with somebody.
Listen. If the difference between like how you can identify most filler or like basically something that's pointless, at least like fiction wise, is if no new information is being imparted. Basically, like when we're watching those One Piece episodes, it's just telling you stuff you already know.
No, it did though. Like Buggy teamed up with that lady.
Yeah. But that happened at the very end of the episode.
Yes, but it progressed.
So it basically means that whole time before you're just showing clips. Like if I were to sit here and take out those flashbacks, the episode would be so short. So that shows you right there.
As short as this issue.
It's really not. Like I know that you didn't like a part of it, but like it's one of those things where it's like it progresses. Something that started out gets paid off at the end. The bat signal goes out. Damien's worried. You see that the whole family's worried. Batman's in trouble, and they don't know where he is. Like, that's the point of the issue, is like it's showing things are getting pretty dire, this overconfident Batman starting to basically get in
It had
trouble.
been on for 8 days.
Yeah.
I don't
Which
know.
is honestly kind of like a little bit more scary when you think, because 8 days isn't that long.
8 days is a long time. It's over a week.
But you know what I mean? Like, for him to be like that, like busted down,
You're
basically.
assuming he hasn't had any water in 8 days, which man should actually be dead.
You can survive off of water for...
No water. You're assuming he has not had any water in 8 days. And, you know?
Yeah. But, like, also,
I'm
like...
gonna give it a goog. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, but, anyway, while she's doing that, I don't know, like, I don't know, I like, seeing Batman kind of, like, act like a human, huh?
A body requires a lot of water to maintain internal temperature, keep balance, and keep cells alive. A person can survive for 3 days without water. So
that means he had to have water before that, probably.
Or the writers didn't know it, but yeah. So my thing is, like, Dukeman was in dire, or we're seeing him find the water at, like, day 3.
Yeah.
And you're seeing him madly, like, you know, the descent, but he would have had to drink again.
It's also, he's an unreliable narrator right now. So you don't know how, like, it's been 8 days, but you don't know, like, you know, it's like, he can't even trust his own mind. I wouldn't really necessarily trust everything you see in there, obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Alex thinks I'm good. I feel bad because I know he wanted me to really, really get excited about the gimmick.
We're just, it's okay. We're going to have differences of opinion sometimes.
I think that I'll enjoy it once it gets back to, like, normalcy.
You're not going to like the next issue, then.
Am I going to have to flip things?
No, you're not. For the love of God, Amanda. Good Lord. Is this episode almost over?
Do you love me?
I do. I just get sick of having to, like, go retread the same thing. This is, like, the 7th time she's talked about this. That's why earlier, if you've noticed, I'm kind of like, okay, it's because, like, we went on, like, a whole long thing where she kind of made the same point, so I'm just like, I've heard this already. Can we just... I get it.
Anyway, I think I'll like the next few issues.
I don't know. Like, and it's fine. Like, I'm not, like, for everyone listening and also for you, I'm not upset in any way. Like, it makes it more interesting when we have very different viewpoints.
Although I do prefer campy Batman, so we'll see.
I know, but, like, anyway, what I was saying is that, like, it's fine if we have a difference of opinion. For the record, I think in the future what we might do if one of us has, like, either me or you has, like, an overly, like, or just, like, a very, like a lot to say, and maybe it's more on the negative side. Just have a time where, like in this episode, where you can, like, say your piece, like, put it all out there, and then, like, have the other person, like, okay, this is my thing. Just so, like, we don't get bogged down with, like, you know, just one thing, and that turns into the whole episode. Because I would like to talk about other aspects of it, too. I did like, just, like, from a visual standpoint, I like the look of the maze, the marble and everything. I do like, just, like, the creepy pictures. There's that part where he walks into that room and it's just filled with, like, caskets, basically, with, like, the people's pictures on them. Those red things that are in the ground, those are caskets. You're giving me a face, that's why I'm telling you. It's okay, you were too distracted by the flipping.
I was too angry, and so I didn't look at the art at all. I was just
It's fine, we're just...
I'm sorry.
It's okay, I just don't want to go back into that hole.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I was distracted, so all I could do was read the text.
But yeah, anyway, there's like a camera that keeps taking pictures of him, and you kind of... And that's the other thing with the unreliable narrator. You do kind of wonder if that's just all in his head, or if they've actually been taking pictures of it. It kind of makes you question stuff, which is kind of cool.
I do like that he kept coming back to the owl room.
He doesn't mean... It's cool, but, like, it's kind of like... It's kind of like with your brain sometimes when you're, like, focused on like a negative thing and you try to move on to something else and then you turn back around and it's right there. Yeah, basically like this, where it's just like you want to just move on and then you keep ending up in the same place and it's really frustrating, kind of like him.
It made me think of our friends. So we went to a trivia night yesterday with a couple of friends of mine from work, and two of them are a couple, and they were at a corn maze, and they kept telling me how they would get to 6. They would answer the question on 6, go to 7, and end up back at 6. And they were getting so frustrated because they just wanted to get out of the maze, and they were like stuck even after closing because they couldn't get past question 7.
Wait, what is this?
Trivia, by the way.
What is it? What are you talking about? What is this?
The corn maze that they were talking about.
You have to ask questions or answer questions?
Yeah, we should go.
Like what? No, explain it. What is that? Like what? I know what a corn maze is. Like what do you mean they ask you questions?
So you go to basically like when you're doing the corn maze, this one is pretty easy to get out of because there are like trivia questions. So you'll get to spot 1 and you'll have a trivia question. You can go left or right. And then you get to spot 2 if you answer correctly, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5 with the trivia questions. But if you answer the questions wrong, you end up at a dead end and you have to go back. Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, anyway, unless you had anything else, I thought we'd go ahead and wrap this up. I would recommend it. I know that we are probably in for a shock. Would you recommend it or not recommend it?
I think that it's, in order to understand the entirety of the story, you have to read the entirety of the story. So if you plan to read The Court of Owls, like in its entirety, then yes, read this.
I guess like also just as a warning, I guess as a warning to people that maybe have like visual or like somewhat triggers like this, like maybe like just to put this out there, if you didn't already know, there are parts where you have to flip it over where it's like maybe a little harder to read. So just for people out there that might upset them, it's just a heads up. You might want to, if it's to that point where I'm not talking about just you, I'm talking about like in general, if that's something that really upsets you, maybe just read the summary online about it and then go to the next one. Like, honestly, you could probably do that and then skip to the next one if that works better for you. That way you still get the information of the issue and you avoid being upset by something that potentially could upset you.
Do you wish you had just forced me to read the summary online?
No, because, like, honestly, this was a good episode. It was a little different than how we normally do things. I feel like, for the most part, we somewhat agree. I feel like me and you, like, our opinions usually align pretty well. Like, to where, like, I'll be more probably on board with some stuff than you will. But, like, also usually, I feel like you're a little bit more positive, which, so, I mean, it's fine. There's some stuff, like, certain things I'm sure we'll get into in the future. Like, I don't like the Joker movie at all, and that's going to be one of those things if we ever...
I don't want to watch it. I have no interest.
I wasn't done talking. And the whole thing with the Joker is, like, I don't really like it either. We don't have to watch or review it. That was just an example of, like, a Batman property that I don't really like at all.
Batman and Robin.
Batman Ninja is worse than Batman and Robin. Batman Ninja sucks.
Do you want to know why I have no interest in watching the Joker movie?
Why?
I know a guy, and it's like his favorite film, and he's kind of not a very good person, so I judge the film because of him.
I don't know if that's even the favorite, but anyway.
I also just don't like clowns.
Okay. But anyway, I would recommend this. You didn't really say, would you recommend it? It's okay if you wouldn't.
I mean, define recommend.
She wouldn't recommend it. Okay.
I said define recommend.
I already know. You hated this issue. But anyway, that's it. We'll come up with an outro eventually. This has been Night of the Batman. I'm Alex.
I'm Amanda.
We'll see you guys next time.